I look at these interesting times as an absolute gift. I think that this is probably one of the most exciting times to be alive on the spinning ball of dirt, which we all inhabit. We're going through some massive changes, and just you name the sphere or sector, there's massive changes everywhere. But during times like this, where there's so much uncertainty, there's so much disruption and changes, and the speed of change, of course, is just incredible. And then there's, of course, chaos, which just manifests itself in society because of all the changes and disruption and uncertainty. I see it as an incredible opportunity to capitalize on and just build things and a life that you couldn't even dream of.
As an investor, we're going to, and I would assume that you're going to encourage people to have access to liquidity, whether it's a credit line or through the IBC. Can you talk about that? Why is now a critical time to have access to that capital?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's in your opinion, what are the best ways to have that access? What are the products?
Yeah, right now, I talk a lot about collateralizing assets and establishing credit lines. By collateralizing assets. So there, what I would do if I was a business owner, for example, is I would see what assets of my business can I collateralize and establish a line of credit that I could use in case that I need it. We're obviously in a recession already. For most folks on Main Street, they're aware of that. They can see it. A lot of business owners can see that. As the economy is getting tougher, or when there's a crisis, you want to have access to liquidity. The same thing you could do essentially if you have a property with some equity in it. Look if you can establish a home equity line of credit so that you have that. And of course, one of my favorite ones is utilizing the infinite banking concept strategy and establishing a line of credit secured by the cash value in that policy. Having many different types of credit lines available to you will provide you options when you need liquidity. I always look at where we are at right now, right? And I'm an optimistic person, and we see a lot of doomy and gloomy things out there. But for your viewers out there, these are the times where incredible, life-changing wealth can be built. You just don't want to be in a situation where there's opportunities that you see that you want to capitalize on, but you don't have the capital to capitalize on them. So you want to have as many of these credit lines established. I love the life insurance line of credit that can be established by setting up a dividend-paying whole life insurance policy with a mutual insurance company, because they will give you access to a line of credit, a policy loan, when you need it. So some of us that have been around for a while and went through 2008, 2009 saw credit line pools, right? Like, for example, a home equity line of credit. So you don't want to be in a situation where you have credit lines pulled and you have nothing to fall back on, and you cannot access liquidity to capitalize on opportunities. And that's why I love the strategy. That's why I love having my policy set up and ready to go, because I believe there's going to be an incredible opportunity to pick up incredible assets that could be life-changing in times of chaos. So that's one of the ways that folks can prepare themselves to be ready to be on the right side, of all of the fun that we see coming down the line.
Right. So let's stay in that same doom and gloom vein, right? So we always talk about being prepared here on the channel. If there is a market downturn and in tough times, you need hard assets. And I know you're an asset guy. You need tough people too to survive it. We talk about 07 and 08. Anyone that was in the game prior to 07 and 08 and survived it and is still around, I've got a lot of respect for, period. So what would be your recommendations on that? So surrounding yourself by hard people, being a hard person yourself, hard assets during tough times. If you elaborate on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my mantra right now for a lot of folks. They say, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there, right? And I always say, like, I'm preparing myself for anything and everything. So even if nothing bad happens, I was prepared for it. And I'd be better off preparing for something. That's just, something that any investor should do from risk management. But my mantra of late has just been, if there's hard times, and there's already been very hard times for a lot of folks out there. But what survives hard times? If you look at some of the hardest times, we always think of the greatest generation, right? What those folks went through, Second World War, Great Depression and so forth. What survived those hard times? Well, it was incredible hard people. It was a community of hard people. Community is just common unity. If you have a bunch of people that are incredibly hard, physically, mentally, and spiritually strong, that are on the same path, that have common unity, and the third piece of that is having hard assets to survive it. Those are the things that will get you through the tough time. Hard people, and a community of these hard people, and then hard assets. So I never ever forget to do self-work and make sure that I'm a hard person. Because even if the good times keep rolling, I always used to say when markets were just absolutely frothing. Even if the good times keep rolling, I want to make sure that I am an incredible hard person, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I want to make sure that I have hard assets, because if times turn and it becomes really, really hard, I'm in a position to weather those storms and go through that and come out on the other side, even stronger, and not having just protected what I have, but continue to build, right?
Yeah, so love the hard asset, obviously, approach, and love the mental approach to it. Guys, if being an entrepreneur, if being an investor were easy, everyone would do it, right? So it does take a lot of kind of intestinal fortitude. It does take some mental strength. There are going to be highs and lows in investing, period. If you can't handle them, you're probably not in the right game. But you can, like you said, do some self-help, some self-work, to get yourself to that point. So your risk aversion may change over time. How you do things may change over time. But that mindset, kind of having that hardened mentality that I don't care what's going on around me, I'm getting through it. And every single time I do it, and you're cut from the same cloth, it only makes me stronger. It galvanizes me. And then, you know what? I made it through that. And then here comes the next thing, whenever that happens to be. I'm going to get through that as well. You know why? Because I got through the last 10. So I'm getting through this one too. So love that approach. Love that approach. Any parting shots here? Love having you here on the channel. If we can get any more great nuggets out of you before signing off, I'd certainly try to milk them out of you here.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously we're living in very, very interesting times, as we've discussed early in our conversation. I look at these interesting times as an absolute gift. I think that this is probably one of the most exciting times to be alive on the spinning ball of dirt, which we all inhabit. We're going through some massive changes, and just you name the sphere or sector, there's massive changes everywhere. But during times like this, where there's so much uncertainty, there's so much disruption and changes, and the speed of change, of course, is just incredible. And then there's, of course, chaos, which just manifests itself in society because of all the changes and disruption and uncertainty. I see it as an incredible opportunity to capitalize on and just build things and a life that you couldn't even dream of. So there's a lot of things out there. Folks get doomy and gloomy. I see it as a gift. I think this is an incredible time to be alive. I think this is an incredible time to do incredible things. So make sure that you're a hard person. You surround yourself with other hard people, and that you're part of that community of hard people, and then find hard assets. That stood the test of time, and we've named several of them. It's a time that I think that we're going to reflect on years from now and say, "Wow, that was crazy, but man, it was incredible." And we not only did we protect what we had, but we built incredible things.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the channel. We'd love to have you back here on again here in a couple months so we can kind of reflect on this video and see if we were right, wrong about anything. But I mean, right now, I can't wait to see what's going on. I'm excited too. I'm excited about the opportunity, guys. And that's not about us hoping bad things happen to good people, which ultimately does happen when these types of things happen. We don't want that to happen, and none of you do that's watching either, but it's going to happen regardless. Why not be prepared, and why not be prepared enough to take advantage of it when it's going to be happening anyway? So MC, always a pleasure. You bring great energy, great optimism, and tremendous knowledge here on the channel. MC, would love to have you back here on the channel. If folks do want to talk to you and they want to be positioned for the current market, the looming pending market, or really any market, the best thing they can do is reach out to you via email at ninja@vipfinancialeducation.com. Include your first, your last name, best number to reach you at, and Cashflow Ninja conversation in the subject line to have a conversation with you, correct?
Absolutely. And I look forward to having those conversations. Your viewers are great. I always have great conversations with them.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on the next video.